Hey followers, this is your boy, Movie Maker Doug 55. Today I welcome you to Relentless and Unstoppable, and today our guest is Fee Johnson. Hey Fee, how you doing?
Good, how's it going, Doug?
Everything is going fabulous. You look very healthy and fit.
I don't feel healthy and fit, but thanks.
Yeah, so tell my followers a little bit of how we met each other.
We met each other online on Facebook in an autism group. And then we chatted back and forth, and then we did another panel recently for Autism Awareness Month. So that was really awesome.
It was. It turned out very well. And tell them how you coincidentally happened to know my co-host, Andy McBee.
We still haven't figured it out. I think we met maybe 15 years ago in Los Angeles when I used to live there before I went to Canada for 10 years. And now I'm in Arizona. So it's very weird, like the small 6-degree separation there. It's great.
It is. Sometimes the guy, his sense of humor is out of this world like mine.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think you both have an awesome sense of humor. That's probably why I'm drawn to you both.
That's great to hear. You know, you have to laugh at anything if you want to have an easy life. And So where are you originally from?
I'm from Melbourne, Australia, originally. Yeah.
A big city.
Big city, Melbourne, Australia, yeah.
Yeah, how is it pronounced in Australia?
Melbourne. It's in Melbourne and Melbourne. Everyone else here says Melbourne, and it's Melbourne.
Yeah. It's really funny how Aussies and Americans have a difference of opinion on how it's pronounced.
Yep, tomato, all those things.
Yeah. So the reason you're on is because, you know, you've dealt with a family of autistic children. So what is that like?
I got 3 boys, and they're all on the spectrum in all different areas of the spectrum. So it's crazy, but it's cool as well. I really, I think it's cool to see their different personalities and all their different things that are going on. And it's hard, but it's awesome to see.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit of how your kids ended up getting on the spectrum.
Okay, so I have the 3 boys, but surprisingly enough, the firstborn wasn't diagnosed until like 2 years ago. My middle guy, when he was 3, got a fever and he stopped talking. And we took him to the hospital because we're like, how can this guy stop talking and stop looking at us? And the hospital told us that he's got autism. And we're like, but how? You can't get it overnight. And they explained that there's apparently like 110 environmental triggers, and fever is one of them. And so we got him tested, and fair enough, we got him tested in Canada, and in Canada they have 5 different specialists and psychologists and speech pathologists that have to agree. So developmental, pediatrician, everyone. So they all agreed. And then, so he was nonverbal, but he started to be verbal. Then my older guy was showing some different behaviors, and the teacher told us that he was really slow. And I was like, he's not slow, he's really, smart. And so we got him tested for like an educational assessment, and they said, no, I think he's on the spectrum. So we got him tested, and sure enough, he was on the spectrum. Yeah, and he said to us, we told him, he goes, I knew there was something. You guys just didn't know. I knew I didn't learn the way. And he goes, well, now I've got my superpower. So he's like all about autism being a superpower, and that's cool. And then that was 2 years ago. And then last January, my youngest, who's now 5, so he was 4 at the time, he was showing like different behaviors as well. So we checked on him, and sure enough, he's like his is more complex. He's sort of got executive dysfunction and autism. So yeah, it was, so all three of them, but they're so different. So I never understood why my oldest son did, because it didn't look like what my middle son had, because my middle son was nonverbal and couldn't look me in the eyes, but my oldest could look me in the eyes and have a conversation. So I didn't see it because I thought autism was one thing, but now I notice it's like the giant spectrum.
Yeah. So yeah, I must ask you, what was the pregnancies like?
Well, they were rough. I wasn't sick or anything, but they all tried to come early, all of them. So I was on bed rest with Bodhi from 21 weeks to the 39 weeks. River, I was on bed rest from 21 weeks, and India was on bed rest for 23 weeks. It was like they tried to all come early, but they all made it to their due date. They were fine, and they were healthy dudes. So,
Are you a single mom at all?
I'm married right now.
Okay. All right. That's pretty cool.
I did single mom because of COVID. My wife moved down here over a year ago, and because of COVID, I couldn't get my green card because that all shut down. So I was single parenting up in Canada for over a year with 3 of my kids.
Oh, you have a wife?
Yes.
Pretty cool. That's really incredible.
Thanks.
And I actually mean that, by the way. I mean it. I'm respective of everybody, just so you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So, I must ask, what are the challenges you've faced with raising autistic kids?
I think judgment. Everywhere we go, people judge their speech or their behaviors, or if they flap, like our middle guy jumps and flaps. So I think judgment, like everywhere we go, there's unsolicited opinions.
Yeah, just curious. Have you faced any judgment or struggles from people that don't agree with your lesbian lifestyle?
Oh, I have, especially here in the US. But I'm happy to have like a really accepting family now. They weren't originally, but I think everyone in life is now like, it's fine. You can love whoever you want to love or whatever. And I've always been that way since I was a little kid. I was like, what if I want to marry a boy or a girl? Like, I don't understand. Like, so
I'm with you on that. My position is it's your life. You can live it how you wish.
Yeah, that should be it. Like, I don't care who marries who, as long as you're happy and you're not in an abusive relationship or they're not on drugs or whatever. As long as you're happy, I agree with you. I 100% agree that everyone should live the life how, as long as they're happy and it's a healthy relationship. I don't care like who you love. And I'm unfortunately now separating from my wife. Apparently it's like 87% of marriages with kids with special needs don't end up they do end up separating. And I'm turning into one of those statistics. It's just because it's so hard, because you have to focus so much on the kids, you forget about the relationship you have. And that's just a sad fact. Unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's fine. It's like, but you have to still be strong for the kids and know when you should not, be together, and it's better to be, friends or whatever. So,
Yeah, that's good to hear. Are you still remaining friends with her?
Oh, for sure. Like, we've got a family. Like, they've got three boys together. So yeah, you have to, and it's best for the kids as long as it's healthy relationship, so we're solid and we're healthy. So it's like, I still want them, they have to be part of their mum's life. So, and kids are generally on the spectrum, like I know with my kids, they need stability and they need familiarity. And so that's what we're going to give them.
For sure. So how did you overcome those struggles you mentioned?
With the judging and stuff of
Judging and all that.
I started educating people and educating myself. So I started doing a lot of autism courses and behavioral specialist courses. So I had some facts behind me and learning more about it. And then when people were judging or anything like that, I'd choose whether to educate them or just focus on my kids. If my kid's having a huge meltdown in public, then I would focus on them. But if they were being rude, I'd actually give them some education and go, actually, they're on the autism spectrum. Do you have anyone that you know is on the autism spectrum? They're like, no. I go, okay, well, he needs to jump to calm him down. Or he's happy, that's why he's jumping. Or he needs to do this because of this. And then I started an Instagram and TikTok account educating parents and other, people on autism. So different things just to get my outlet out, you know what I mean? So show these people who are judging that they shouldn't be judging. They should actually be caring. So I think when you call people out on it, they kind of get embarrassed by what they've done.
I see what you mean, and that's happened to me before. But that's the whole point of this entire show, is to show everyone that you don't have to be defined by your circumstances, and your kids don't have to be defined by autism. They are who they are.
Exactly. You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
For sure. And we'll definitely get you back for a follow-up real soon. And
excellent.
Yeah. So, Fee, how did your children hold up in COVID times?
I think just like every other kid, they wanted to see their friends and stuff, but we moved country at the middle of it. So they struggled. I think the isolation struggled, so we had to find a new schedule. When they had a schedule, they were fine.
Just curious, is the education they got in Canada, is it different from the education they've gotten in America?
Well, it's different just because of COVID. So they were in school in Canada and they did a little bit of online because of COVID, and then they swapped down here and they were doing all online because of the numbers were up here in Arizona. But my little guy started going back to kindergarten a few weeks ago, and he really liked it. But the education, I think, is the same, except you learn more about American history here instead of world history.
Okay, I see what you mean. So this is the last question I have on the list.
Okay, go for it.
What are your hopes for 2021?
For the rest of the year, I hope that the boys settle in a bit more and they get some more friends and everything settles down a bit more and is less tense. I think I want the kids to be happy and healthy and have friends. So that's my hope for them.
Good to hear. So how do you think your story can impact the world?
The world, I hope that people start educating instead of judging in any subject. I don't care if it's autism or whatever. I just want people to learn not to judge others until you walk in their shoes, basically. I want people to be happy and less mean.
I'm with you on that, and hopefully that'll happen. So followers, I want to thank Fee for appearing on the show. My Facebook profile is up here. And we'll see you next time on Being Relentless and Unstoppable.